Welcome to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even an ordinary-looking 1997 P Washington quarter can spark curiosity and excitement. While most of these coins are common in circulation, a closer look might reveal hidden details, rare errors, or exceptional condition that could increase their value. Remember, not every coin is a fortune, but every coin has a story. Stay curious, keep exploring, and you might just discover something truly special in your collection. Top 5. First, the story of the 1983 P Washington quarter begins with an era when the United States Mint faced unusual challenges, making coins from this year quietly special. At first glance, it may look like just another worn, everyday quarter, especially if it's dirty, scratched, or faded, but hidden beneath that ordinary appearance could be a coin that collectors pay serious attention to. The P mint mark, representing Philadelphia, was only added to quarters starting in 1980, so by 1983 it was still a relatively new feature, adding a subtle layer of historical importance to the coin. What makes the 1983 P quarter fascinating is not that every coin is valuable, but that certain examples can be surprisingly scarce in high grades. During 1982 and 1983, the U.S. Mint did not release official uncirculated sets, meaning collectors had to pull coins directly from circulation. As a result, most 1983 P quarters you find today are heavily worn, dull, and often dirty, exactly like the type you described. This is why even a coin in average condition can feel special. It survived a time when preservation was not a priority. However, let's be clear and grounded. A typical 1983 P quarter in dirty or heavily circulated condition is usually worth only its face value, 25 cents or slightly more to a collector, perhaps a few dollars at most. The dream of it being worth millions overnight is extremely unlikely for a standard coin. But here, where things become exciting, rare exceptions do exist, and those are what fuel the stories and collector passion behind this coin. If your 1983 P quarter has an unusual minting error, that's when its value can rise dramatically. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or dramatic misalignments can transform an ordinary coin into a collector's prize. Even then, values typically range from tens to hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error, but not millions. Still, finding such a coin in your pocket change can feel like striking gold. Condition is the real game changer. A 1983 P quarter in pristine uncirculated condition, graded MS65 or higher, can sell for significantly higher prices because so few were preserved that well. Coins graded MS67 or above are especially rare and have been known to fetch hundreds or even over $1,000 at auction. That's a huge jump from face value, proving that condition can completely transform the worth of this coin. Now imagine holding a dirty, worn 1983 P quarter. It may not shine, its details may be faded, and it may look like it has no value at all. But even then, it carries history in your hand, a piece of American currency that circulated during a time when coin collecting faced a gap in official mint releases. That alone gives it a quiet but real significance, even if the market value remains modest. The idea that such a coin could make you a billionaire overnight is more of a dream than a reality, but dreams are what keep collectors searching. Every rare coin discovery story begins with someone taking a second look at what others ignored. So while most 1983 P quarters won't change your life financially, checking them carefully is always worth your time. If you truly believe your coin is special, the best step is to examine it closely under good lighting. Look at the mint mark, the lettering, and the edges. Any unusual doubling, missing details, or strange shapes could indicate an error. Even a small difference can mean a big jump in collector interest. Another important factor is authentication. Professional grading services can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade that determines its market value. Without this step, even a potentially valuable coin may not reach its full selling price because buyers rely on verified quality and authenticity. It's also worth understanding that the coin market runs on demand. A coin becomes valuable not just because it is rare, but because collectors actively seek it. The 1983 P quarter has a niche demand due to its historical context and scarcity in high grades, which is why top condition examples can command impressive prices. So, while your dirty 1983 P Washington quarter may not instantly turn you into a millionaire, it still holds a spark of possibility. It could be a simple piece of chain, or it could be something more, depending on its condition and characteristics. That uncertainty is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. In the end, the true value of this coin lies in both its story and its potential. Whether it's worth a few cents or a few $100s, it represents a moment in time and a chance, however small, to discover something extraordinary. So don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look, because sometimes the most overlooked coins carry the most interesting secrets. Next up, the story of the 1997 P mint mark Washington quarter begins with a powerful myth that has spread across collectors and casual coin holders alike. The idea that an ordinary-looking coin, even in dirty or worn condition, could secretly be worth millions. This belief is exciting, even thrilling, because it suggests hidden treasure might already be in your pocket. But to truly understand the value of a 1997 quarter, we need to separate imagination from reality while still appreciating the rare situations where a coin can indeed become extremely valuable. The 1997 P Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most productive mints in the United States. In that year, hundreds of millions of quarters were produced, meaning this coin is not rare by default. Most examples you will find, especially those that are dirty, scratched, or heavily circulated, are considered common coins. In everyday terms, their value remains close to their face value of 25 cents, because condition plays a huge role in determining whether a coin is collectible or not. However, condition is where the story begins to change. Coins are graded on a scale, and even a small difference in quality can dramatically affect value. A 1997 P quarter in poor, dirty condition is typically not attractive to collectors and therefore does not command a premium price. Dirt, corrosion, and heavy wear actually reduce value rather than increase it. This is an important truth that many viral claims ignore. Rarity is not created by damage, but by preservation, uniqueness, or error. Now let's step into the world where this coin could become valuable. The only way a 1997 P quarter reaches high value is if it has a rare minting error or is in exceptionally high-grade condition. Mint errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process, things like double strikes, off-center designs, or missing elements. If a 1997 quarter has a dramatic and verified error, collectors may pay significantly more, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how unusual the error is. Another path to higher value is through grading. Coins that have never been circulated and are preserved in near-perfect condition, known as mint state, can be worth more than face value. A 1997 P quarter graded at the very top levels by professional grading services can sell for tens or occasionally hundreds of dollars. This is still far from millions, but it shows how quality can transform a simple coin into something more desirable. The idea that a dirty 1997 P quarter could be worth millions overnight is realistically not true. Million-dollar coins do exist, but they belong to a completely different category. Extremely rare historical coins, limited mintages, or famous errors that are widely documented. Coins like early American rarities or unique mint mistakes are what reach those extraordinary prices, not modern circulating quarters produced in huge numbers. That said, your coin still holds importance. Every coin carries history, craftsmanship, and a connection to the economy of its time. The Washington Quarter series itself is iconic, honoring George Washington, and has been a part of American life since 1932. Even a worn 1997 example has traveled through countless hands, telling a silent story of everyday transactions and moments. If you believe your coin might be special, the best step is careful inspection. Look closely at the mint mark P, the lettering, and the overall design. Check for doubling in the text, unusual alignment, or missing details. Sometimes what appears to be damage could actually be a mint error, but distinguishing the two requires attention and, in some cases, expert evaluation. Professional coin grading services can authenticate and assign a grade to your coin. This process gives credibility and can significantly increase buyer confidence if the coin turns out to be rare. Without authentication, even a potentially valuable coin may not reach its full market price because collectors prefer verified pieces. Another important factor is the coin market itself. Value is determined by demand, and demand depends on collectors' interest. A rare error that collectors actively seek can command high prices, while a common coin, even in decent condition, may remain low in value. Understanding this market dynamic helps prevent unrealistic expectations and allows you to make smarter decisions. Emotionally, the idea of finding a life-changing coin is powerful, and it keeps many people searching. There's nothing wrong with that excitement. It's part of what makes coin collecting enjoyable. But it's equally important to stay grounded and informed so you don't overestimate what you have or fall for exaggerated claims. In conclusion, a 1997 P Washington quarter in dirty condition is almost always worth only its face value. It does not have the power to make someone a billionaire overnight. However, if it possesses a rare mint error or is in exceptional condition, it could still hold meaningful collector value. The key is knowledge, careful examination, and realistic expectations, because true rarity is not about age alone, but about uniqueness and preservation. Next up, the story of the 1986 D Washington quarter begins with an ordinary coin that most people would never look at twice, yet hidden within its worn edges and dull surface could be a quiet spark of extraordinary value. Struck in 1986 at the Denver Mint, this coin carries the small D mint mark, a detail so tiny that many overlook it, yet it is the very signature that connects the coin to a specific moment in American minting history. While millions of these quarters were produced, not all were created equal in the eyes of collectors. Some pieces, even in rough or dirty condition, can carry a surprising premium if they possess something unusual. At first glance, a dirty or heavily circulated 1986 D quarter might seem almost worthless, its surface scratched, faded, and lifeless. But in the world of coin collecting, appearances can be deceiving. Collectors often look beyond the grime to examine deeper details, strike quality, minting errors, and rare variations that can turn an ordinary coin into a hidden treasure. Even a coin that looks like pocket change can become something far more valuable when viewed through the lens of rarity and demand. The real excitement around the 1986 D Washington quarter lies not in the standard versions, but in the rare anomalies that occasionally surface. Coins with striking errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws can command significantly higher prices. These rare features are not always easy to detect, especially when the coin is dirty, but they are exactly what collectors search for. A single overlooked detail can transform a coin from being worth cents into something far more impressive. However, it is important to ground expectations in reality. The vast majority of 1986 D quarters, especially those in poor or dirty condition, are worth only their face value of 25 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, most examples sell for just a few dollars. The idea of such a coin being worth millions is extremely unlikely unless it has a truly unique and historically significant minting error, or is part of an extraordinary collection with proven rarity. That said, there have been moments in the coin market where unusual pieces shocked collectors with unexpected prices. Coins that combine rarity, condition, and collector demand can reach thousands of dollars at auction. If a 1986 D quarter were discovered with a dramatic minting error in combination with a rare die variety, it could potentially reach into higher price ranges. Still, reaching millions would require an almost one-of-a-kind discovery, something that would be widely documented and studied. Condition plays a powerful role in determining value, even more than age in many cases. A heavily worn and dirty coin usually loses much of its collector appeal unless it carries a rare feature. Coins graded in high mint state condition, those that appear almost untouched, are far more desirable. Ironically, the cleaner and more pristine a coin is, the higher its potential value, while dirt and wear generally reduce it unless rarity overrides condition. The D mint mark itself tells a story of origin. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the years, and the 1986 D quarter is just one small piece of that massive output. Yet within such large production numbers, small variations can occur, and those variations are what create excitement in the collecting community. It is this unpredictability that keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins and old collections, hoping to find something rare. Many collectors dream of discovering a coin that could change their life overnight, and while such stories do exist, they are incredibly rare. The idea of a single quarter turning someone into a millionaire captures the imagination, but it is important to approach such claims with caution. True million-dollar coins are usually well-documented rarities with clear historical significance, not commonly circulated pieces from modern decades. If you happen to own a 1986 D quarter in very dirty condition, the best step is not to clean it aggressively. Cleaning can damage the coin's surface and reduce its value even further. Instead, it is better to have the coin examined by an experienced collector or a professional grading service. They can determine whether the coin has any unusual features that might increase its worth beyond face value. The market for coins is driven by collectors, and collectors value uniqueness. A coin that tells a story, whether through an error, a rare strike, or exceptional preservation, will always attract attention. Without those qualities, even coins from decades past remain ordinary. This is why careful inspection and knowledge are essential when evaluating any coin, especially one that appears worn or damaged. In the end, the 1986 D Washington quarter represents both reality and possibility. On one hand, it is a common coin that most people will encounter without a second thought. On the other, it holds the slim but fascinating potential of rarity hidden beneath its surface. This dual nature is what makes coin collecting so captivating, the idea that treasure might be hiding in plain sight. So before you dismiss that old, dirty quarter in your pocket, take a closer look. While it may not make you a billionaire overnight, it could still hold a story worth discovering. And in rare cases, with the right combination of features, it might surprise you with a value far beyond what you ever expected. Next up, the story of the 1990 D Washington quarter begins like many ordinary coins, quietly struck in Denver, released into circulation and passed from hand to hand without a second thought. Yet hidden inside this seemingly common coin is a world of possibility, mystery, and collector fascination. To the untrained eye, especially when the coin is dirty or worn, it may look like nothing more than pocket change. But to a seasoned collector, even a heavily circulated piece can carry whispers of rarity, subtle errors, or overlooked details that dramatically change its value. It is important to understand that the vast majority of 1990 D quarters were produced in the millions, making them very common in general circulation. However, what transforms an ordinary coin into something extraordinary is not just the date or mint mark. It is the condition, the presence of minting errors, and the uniqueness of its features. A dirty or worn coin may seem less appealing, but sometimes dirt hides details that collectors are desperate to find, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or rare die cracks. When we talk about unimaginable value reaching into thousands or even higher, we are not referring to every 1990 D quarter. Instead, we're talking about extremely rare variations, coins that slip through the minting process with unusual characteristics. These can include dramatic misprints, wrong planchet errors, or coins struck with misaligned dies. In such cases, even a coin in rough or dirty condition can attract serious attention because the error itself becomes the centerpiece of its value. Collectors often say that condition is king, but rarity can sometimes override condition completely. A heavily circulated 1990 D quarter with a confirmed mint error could still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the uniqueness of the flaw. The dirt and wear may reduce its shine, but they do not erase the story embedded in the metal. In fact, some collectors prefer untouched coins because cleaning can damage the surface and reduce authenticity. The idea that a single coin could make someone a millionaire overnight is powerful and exciting, but it must be approached with realism. There are no widely confirmed records of a standard 1990 D quarter selling for millions of dollars. However, in the world of coin collecting, extraordinary discoveries do happen. Coins once considered ordinary have later been reclassified as rare due to newly discovered errors or limited surviving specimens. What truly drives the value of a coin like the 1990 D quarter is demand among collectors. If a specific variation becomes highly sought after, especially one that is rare and difficult to find, its price can rise dramatically. Auctions play a major role in this process, where collectors compete to own unique pieces. A coin that might seem worthless in a drawer could suddenly become the center of intense bidding if it possesses the right characteristics. The Denver Mint Mark D itself is not rare for this year, but its placement and clarity can still matter. In some rare cases, mint marks may appear weak, doubled, or slightly misplaced due to die issues. These small differences are often invisible unless examined closely, sometimes requiring magnification. This is why even a dirty coin should not be dismissed without careful inspection. Another factor that can influence value is whether the coin has been authenticated and graded by a professional service. A raw coin, especially one in poor condition, might not immediately reveal its worth, but once verified and graded, it can gain credibility and attract serious buyers. This step often separates a coin with potential from one that remains overlooked. There is also an emotional aspect to coin collecting that adds to the excitement. The idea that something so small and ordinary could hold hidden value creates a sense of treasure hunting. Every coin becomes a possibility, every detail a clue. This is why stories of rare coins continue to capture attention. They combine history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. However, it is equally important to stay grounded. Not every 1990 D quarter is valuable, and most will only be worth their face value of 25 cents. The difference lies in the details, the rarity, and sometimes sheer luck. Believing every coin is worth millions can lead to disappointment, but understanding what to look for can turn a simple hobby into a rewarding pursuit. If you truly believe you have a special coin, the best approach is patience and proper evaluation. Avoid cleaning it, store it safely, and consider having it examined by experts. What looks like dirt could be preserving important surface details, and what seems ordinary could turn out to be something much more interesting under closer inspection. In the end, the 1990 D Washington quarter is a reminder that value is not always visible at first glance. While it may not realistically make you a billionaire overnight, it holds the potential to spark curiosity, learning, and perhaps even a surprising discovery. The real treasure is not just in the coin itself, but in the journey of understanding what makes it unique, and that journey can sometimes lead to rewards far greater than expected.